Mm.
I say, rapping crypto, stacking and make it flip, yo. Supplementing the income, did I mention that it's lit, yo? Spitting the truth out, struggle to pick the new route. Tired of living from paycheck to paying bills where I lose out. So I'm investing, no time for the second guessing. Diversifying my cash, can leave all my eggs in one basket, I figure. So that's it, yo. Flipping, rapping the crypto, income producing admin, did I mention that it's lit, yo? I'm on the come up, these brothers getting they ones up, wanna run with us because we show a secure way to level up. I'm on that double dutch, it's a quick trip, NFT flip, check the number, I don't need friends. My payment system is so amazing, it came encrypted. It's privacy and security, that's what you were missing. Listen, this ain't no Wi-Fi, it's DeFi. Sending currency on the reply, you wanna rewind this. To get a better understanding, know that welcome was the plan and taking steps to money management. That's how we handle it from peer to peer in the clear. So anything weird couldn't interfere here.
All right, y'all already know what time it is. It's your main man, HUTCH with my brother, Blockwolf.blockchain, aka LJ, in the building. We have our special guest, Miss GEMINI, the artist, in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
How you doing?
Thanks for having me. I'm doing amazing. Thank you for asking me.
No problem. I'm going to throw it over to my brother, LJ. What's going on, bro?
Man, oh man, oh man, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is another edition of Rapping Crypto, and of course, this is a special edition, ladies and gentlemen. This is actually on a Saturday this time, but I mean, we're super excited about this. For those of y'all who are going to tune into this when this airs, man, we're super excited about this interview. We've been working hard and working for a long time to make sure we coordinated this. We want to make sure we got it done right. So, ladies and gentlemen, when y'all see this, man, I really, really hope y'all enjoy it. But in the meantime, in between time, I'm not going to get on a tangent because, of course, y'all are in for another banger. Of course, it's going to be a Hall of Fame episode. But HD, go ahead and take us into it, man.
All right, man. So I'm going to kick it off. So the real artist GEMINI, how did you get your name?
You really want to know?
Yeah.
Well, so when I was like 20, okay, so we're going to go back to, young GEMINI. I'm 30 years old now. This is when I was 20. I was actually a dancer and my name was GEMINI. So I just kept that name all the way up until now. People know me from my music as GEMINI too, but primarily everybody knows me because I was a dancer back in 2015, 2014. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I guess we're gonna jump straight into it. What brought you into blockchain? So you spoke about being a dancer. So what got you into that realm?
Honestly, I'm gonna start from the beginning because I kind of like just stumbled upon being in the blockchain by way of Chicago Crypto Bully. But before I got a mentorship from him, I was in the BWO. That was with Chris Cole, 19 Keys, and some other gentlemen, I think Minex as well. And they had like a crypto sector that they were teaching, not in the expertise of my mentor, but they kind of briefly were discussing it. And I was very interested because I was like, wait, what are you talking about? Like, I'm confused. What is going on? So if ever I'm confused about something, I then want to learn even more about it. So one of the people inside of that Discord, his name was Wine. He kind of put me on to a couple of different things. And so from there, I got introduced to Chicago Crypto Bully from watching Black Magic 363 on YouTube. He had him on as a special guest, and he was going into depth about DeFi, self-banking, and he had me at that point. So I had purchased one of his boot camps, probably one of his first boot camps that he ever has done. It was like an 8-hour boot camp, and from there I've been locked in ever since.
That's probably man, Chicago Bully, man. He been affecting the game a long time, man. So we gotta give him his flowers as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, that's how I got into the blockchain, and really, I do want to shout out to Nadi as well, because
Naughty.
right, because he was the one who introduced me to NFTs. Also Daz, you guys had her on here too. So Nadi and Daz introduced me to NFTs, how to create them, why they were important, and so when I started studying, blockchain, crypto assets, and I learned about NFTs, and I am an artist, that was my first thing I started tapping into. So shout out to them too.
Nice.
Man, that's
Gentlemen,
good
just,
people.
while we're giving those folks them flowers, of course, we have not been able to get the Chicago bully on here just yet. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling y'all, in due time, ladies and gentlemen. But big shouts out to Daz BN. Big shouts out to Nadi. We have definitely interviewed both of them, and they have come on and dropped gems in regards to NFTs, as well as a slew of other things in the space. So y'all make sure y'all go back and check out those episodes. But go ahead, HD, my fault, bro.
No, I was going to ask you, how did the blockchain influence your music career?
That's a very interesting question, because I instantly, when I heard Nadi, because he does music too. So when I heard him talking about it from the aspect of you can, mint your music on chain, I'm like, what? Like what? Like, what do you mean I can mint my music on chain? Yes. And so when he said that, he started breaking it down. And what introduced me and intrigued me the most was the fact that it was strictly peer-to-peer. It wasn't like I had to go and I had to sign up with somebody and they had to get a cut of, anything that I'm going to be getting, and all the things that comes with, having a label or trying to sign to somebody and things of this nature. When it's strictly just peer-to-peer, I was really messing with that. I don't want to cuss on this channel, but yeah,
it's free.
that's what intrigued me the most, to put my music on the blockchain, was just peer-to-peer transacting from that point. Yeah, so I was fucking with it.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Man, that's what we try and tell these artists all the time, man. This blockchain is something serious, man.
Right.
Control your own aspect, control your own lane, and make your own money.
Right. And then the fact that it is also transparent, right? So everybody sees what is going on. We know that the blockchain, they have a private blockchain. The bankers have a private blockchain. But when they made a public blockchain, right, like the Bitcoin blockchain, and then we have Ethereum, things of this nature. Now we have solutions to a lot of consumers or retailers or artists or business owners problems when it comes to transparency, security, and again, the transacting with your peers instead of having someone in the middle. There's no more central authority. We're doing it's just on we the people. I'm all about the private side too, but in this aspect, as far as transacting publicly, so everything is on record, right?
Right.
So I'm glad you did that. Kind of piggybacking off of what you just said there, if you would, kind of give us a idea of what your outlook is in terms of the different processes of centralization and regulation that are kind of being put in place, in those different things that may not yet be rolled out, but they are soon to be rolled out, and a lot of people may be ill-informed or uninformed about the situation.
So when it comes to like the central aspect of, are you asking me about like as far as the blockchain and crypto assets and some of the bills and regulations that's happening right now? Okay. Yes. So I know you guys probably seen the FIT 21 bill, right? That just got passed and things of this nature. I'm not really into like heavily diving into it, but I am paying attention to it because it is important. Only because when we're talking about central authority, right? And we're talking about major institutions coming over here, and we're talking about having regulatory clarifications with the blockchain and with your crypto assets. We have to realize we're very early on in this process. So if you're a person like us who has been investing in some of these crypto assets that potentially has an exponential to, give us generational wealth, some people may not be on that side of the fence if, or when major institutions coming over here, because you have to realize everything is not going to last forever. So I can have 100 million tokens of XRP and somebody at 50 cents, and somebody comes in. Now the institutions are here. It may be $5, or it may be $10. It may be a higher price to actually get in. So what's going to happen is these institutions are going to be buying people out of their positions. And I think that's one major effect that's going to happen to people who are not paying attention to what's happening with this global shift in financial banking right now. The entire financial system is shifting from one paradigm to the next paradigm. So if have a family member, or if I have somebody and I'm trying to, hey, get into crypto, I'm trying to let you know this is another way out of this is another way out of you being in I don't want to say cahoots, but you being the central authority of, right, these people that we're not getting along with as far as our security and our finances. Because if I go to the bank, right, and I say, okay, I started a business and I want to get a loan from whoever, and they reject me, right, we now have a solution to that, because now we can go to the blockchain and we have different applications on chain that is allowing us to lend, borrow our own collateral, right? So that way we can build ourselves up to give ourselves a loan, even if it's small, if it's large, whatever type of capital you have, you still have that ability to do for yourself. So we're getting out of do it for me. Now we're getting into it's time for us to do it ourselves. So when we're talking about going back to these bills that are being passed, like Maxine Waters, she's a part of the Financial Association. She's heavily influencing, CBDCs. So I call that an invasion of privacy tokens. So would you rather have an invasion of privacy tokens get passed, or would you rather be able to set yourself up now, properly prepare yourself for what's yet to come? We see what's happening in China. We see what's happening in different countries. Everybody's, it's not going to happen to the U.S. citizens, right? If that's what you consider yourself, you subject to that title. But it's not going to happen to the people that are over here, right? Oh, no, it's happening, but they're doing it in a way where they're not forcefully feeding it to you. They're doing it with these bills that regular people are not going to pay attention to, because we're not taught to read. I work in a school system. Kids cannot read. I can say that because I actually work with some of these kids. They have taught these children how not to read properly. So when we were taught sound stuff out, A, B, C, ah, ba, B, D, stuff like that, they're not teaching that way anymore. They're just skipping them on. So when it gets to the 5th grade and you say, hey, can you please read me something on the board? The kids can't even read what's on the board. And I said, what grade are you in? I'm in the 5th grade. That's a major concern. So when you're talking about bills, you're talking about contracts, and when you're talking about these things, our generations after us are not going to be able to understand. They're the ones that's going to be heavily have to be adapted to what's yet to come, right? So if they can't read, they can't understand these bills, and it's getting passed right now, and we the people are trying to get certain people in the loop of these things. It's just going to be real hard. It's going to be very hard for that generation to even have some sort of power, right? But us, if we have kids, our kids is going to be financially fine, right? Or your children might be financially fine, right? Because we're studying, we're paying attention, we're in the know now, instead of, I'm gonna just read that later. I have a lot of people who come to me all the time and say, hey, Gemini, can you teach me about this, or can you teach me about that, or can I get a one-on-one with you? And I say, please don't come to me if you're not going to take it seriously. If you want to do a one-on-one, you would just go ahead and get the one-on-one. You're going to wait 12 months. It's so many different things that are happening simultaneously super fast. Because if you're looking at financial growth, financial instruments, implementations, transferabilities, all these things are happening at one time. You're missing valuable information now. I know I'm just running on with the 10.
Oh, no.
I know it's school to the, but all of this coincides.
It's all the same track, my love. Keep telling them, please.
Right. All of this is coinciding with one another. there's a reason why I'm in the schools right now. There's a reason why I started a nonprofit organization to get in where the kids are underrepresented, who can't read, who maybe don't have a computer, right? Maybe in a foster care. I'm trying to get to those kids because they're going to need it the most. But I'm going to let y'all ask me another question.
Oh, no. We love it. LJ's in the school system now, and I'm in the prison system. So,
woo, wee. Talk about it.
I mean, I guess since we're gonna do segue questions today, since we're addressing the education system, just kind of segueing in a little bit, staying on the focus of blockchain. What pathways do you see that the education can use in terms of being able to integrate maybe blockchain technology or AI, any of these futuristic technologies that we're still in development with today? How can they utilize those as resources to be able to help these students, not just what they need to learn in school, but as well as some of their other interests and keeping them possibly out of the streets as well?
Right. And so I'm going to go back to what I've started with my nonprofit organization, because the system is broken. And so I'm not even sure if I'm not going to say that, but it's going to take a lot of votes, a lot of community members to be behind this. And when I tell you, I'm out here by myself pushing, education on blockchain, education on crypto investment vehicles in this industry, right? Like I said, I'm by myself in this. But I think it'll be essential for teachers, community members to get together on weekends to then, like how they do with the schools, right? They invite the parents out to vote for different things or vote for different grants to give to the kids for certain things. They need to start doing that with the new technology that's being implemented, right now, that the kids can utilize. There's kids that are very highly artistic. A lot of our children are artistic individuals. They're visual learners. They like to draw. A lot of the kids I teach, they love to draw. They love to be expressive. They like music. These are some of the things that they like to do. So when I had a student come to me, right, and she utilized AI to create her own book. She's only 12, right? She created her own book. She did that with generative, artificial intelligence, right? On her own. The same things that I do, the same things that she was already doing. I said, baby, you are ahead of your time. Little do you know, but she just needed a little bit of guidance on how to monetize this for her, right? Now that she's this young, she can create a business out of this, right? So how can the educational system implement something that's going to help the kids push forward the generation? They need to be able to understand what is blockchain, how is it, what's the use cases of the blockchain, right? To be able to then educate the students first. So first we need instructors. I'm going down the line. First, we need the instructors, the people that say, hey, I'm going to do this. Let's do it. Then we need the courses, the lessons, right? Then we may need the grant money to get the tools and the resources that we need for those kids, right? Then we need the parents on board to say, hey, I'm going to bring my kid out of X amount of days throughout the year, right? I have I teach the robotics program. So that's 180 days out of the school year. We can do the same thing with blockchain education. So I think it just takes research. It takes planning. It takes effort. It takes creating a prototype. You using the whole engineering and design process when you're talking about implementing blockchain technology within the education system. I think it's going to have its benefits for our children because they're, like I said, they're going to be the ones that's going to be able to utilize this more than us. We're doing it for building the infrastructure for the children to be able to utilize, basically, right? I hope I didn't go all over the place when I'm talking.
No. You're right on point. You're right on point.
But I see myself, and all of this is nonprofit. So I'm not asking the parents for money. I'm not asking anybody for a dime, right? I had my son create a book and I said, hey, if you want to donate to him, showing you he can write a book on his own. He didn't use AI. It's no shade, right? He didn't use AI. He wrote the book himself. He created it on the Kindle himself with my guidance, of course. I taught him how to then convert it into the IPFS file, right? How to then send that metadata and have it on the blockchain and mint it himself, then create the visual art because he's an artist. He loves to draw. So then he created that in Blender, something else that I do, right? Then he was able to say, hey, mom, how about we do a fundraiser? They can donate to our, nonprofit organization to then get some of the tools and the computers and stuff like this, even cold storage wallets for the kids, if they supersede in the courses. So we just did the fundraiser. And so that's a way to teach kids too. Just have them do hands-on things to see how this is going to be utilized for them. They say there's nothing better than to experience it yourself. If they don't have any experience in it, you can talk a kid head off all day, but they got to be in there doing it themselves. They got to learn how to operate it and transact on it. That's the only way they're going to be able to learn.
That's facts. Because I got my little 5-year-old in here now learning how to play Roblox on the computer.
Yeah, literally. And even Roblox is a segue to the metaverse, teaching him how to build in the metaverse, teaching him what it essentially looks like if he wanted to create his own in-game assets for something and then monetize that. So I'm just thinking of ways for the kids to be able to not only create, be educated, have a plan, right? Their own blueprint, a business blueprint to show somebody, and then be able to monetize it. Because at the end of the day, the kids like what they like. And if you want to build something, baby, you have to learn how to manage now your funds. Now you have to learn how to manage your time. So it's just a plethora of things that also come with, for me, how I see that education can be implemented with teaching blockchain.
That's dope. I had a great question, and I could not have said it better myself.
Yes.
Definitely could have said it better myself. And I do want to go back to, I just want to let you know, you're not alone. It's very few out here doing it, but you're not alone. I know
work.
Of course. P2G for a while now has been doing crypto kids gaming. I know Brother Dennis Sennett and his children, they have been teaching blockchain gaming and crypto education for a while now. I myself have been partnering with the Web3 Renaissance movement, helping them build out their Stop Squad Web3 program for kids. So there's a couple of different things that are, I genuinely feel like here in the next 10 years, a lot of us are going to basically be in positions to be able to help the people genuinely, because it's a really good spot to be in. And it's not just, just for the profit margin or anything like that. It's genuinely for being able to push the education and teach it the right way. Because like you mentioned earlier, there's a lot of things that are coming, and a lot of people aren't going to be able to pay attention to it because they're going to be told what to do rather than setting the precedent of what they're going to do. So this is really times.
The predictive programming of it all. They have TikTok, they have Instagram, they have YouTube, they have so many different things that they're looking at. Right. And it's hard for some of them to pay attention if they don't have structure inside of the household. You know what I mean? I can say, hey, here's a game, go play the game all day, anytime, right? Because I don't want to take the time to sit down with my kids and do the work with them. A lot of people think, oh, I'm sending my kids to school. That's their job. No, it's the parent's job first. Before you send your child outside of your home, it's your job to educate your kid, not only on mannerism, right? Respect. You have to educate them first, because it's not a teacher's job. That's what they get a salary for. And some of them don't care. They just want the salary, right? So it starts within the home and building that structure inside of your house.
100%. HD, how we gonna tackle this next, man? Man, oh man, we got a lot packed. We're only 24 minutes in, y'all. We got a lot packed in here already. Where you want to take this conversation next, bro?
So I'm gonna go back. So, in what ways do you think blockchain can help artists protect their intellectual property rights?
IP is important.
Intellectual property is always important, and even when we're talking about intellectual properties, right? Ask me that question one more time before I say something else so I can put it together. Ask me a question again.
So, how do you feel that blockchain can help artists protect their intellectual property rights?
I am an artist myself, right? I'm going to go back to, I'm going to break something down. So we are the first estate, right? When we're born. And so anything that we touch is our intellectual property. So from that way on, I feel like first you need to have a trust set up for yourself if you have intellectual property. That's first and foremost. Your estate is your God body, right? And then you have your maybe your ministry, right? What do you believe in? What is your faith-based organization that's going to hold your assets? And of course, you can create a trust, right? Or a holding company that holds and manages those assets, right? So that's one way to protect your intellectual property. But when we're talking about how can they protect it on the blockchain, correct?
Correct.
Right. Okay. So I had did a charged particles. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. So I did create a charged particles for my son because he created something and that was his intellectual property. I feel like this, first of all, it's the security on chain, depending on how you're looking at it. And again, I'm going back to, because everything is transparent and it is public, we have the power to secure our own rights in a way. Artists can then take their music, right? They can put it on, they can mint it on the blockchain, they can create it, they can distribute it to whoever. That ownership, essentially, they're the creator, right? So again, it's going back to estate. You're the creator, right? And you're in your God's self. Then once you transact and sell it to someone else, they now have ownership of that. But they do not have the copyrights to your original creation. So if you wanted to go out and make prints, if you wanted to go out and make whatever you wanted to make out of that original artwork that you minted, now I'm talking about artwork that you minted, that would be yours to do because you were the sole creator. And because the blockchain is public, distributed technology, right? Ledger is seen. You can see who was the creator. Once you see who the creator was, then you can see the transaction to say, hey, that person transferred this file to now this person. So that's secondary ownership. You will never have true ownership of something that you did not create. You're not the creator. So I feel like in the aspect of an artist, that is super, super important because it's immutable. You can't change nothing. So I can't say, oh no, I created that. No, you didn't, because here's the hash right here. Here's the attributes. Here's the unique identification that says this person, this anonymous person, let's talk about anonymity, right? This anonymous person created something and then it was then sent over here to you. So this is user X and this is user Y. So how is user Y the creator if user X was the one who minted that on chain? That's where the security lies as far as your intellectual property. I feel like it's way more secure this way than having it even on a private. I don't even want to say like a private, because they have private blockchains, they have consortium blockchains, and they have hybrid blockchains, right? They have different types of blockchains. When we're talking about that, I feel like a public blockchain is the best for an artist to keep and secure their intellectual property because you can see everything is transparent, it's immutable, it cannot be changed. Okay, so that's from my aspect. But again, I would still take my intellectual property on chain and I still would transfer that and put it into my holding company or my trust. Either way it goes. So that's trademark right there. You can't take something that I still control, because nobody ever owns anything, right? We have control over these things because even on the blockchain, right? We can't physically go in and touch a cryptocurrency. It's on the blockchain. We have ledgers, right? It's still on the blockchain. So really we're controlling these instruments. We're controlling the things that we're doing. So that's how I feel about that.
Awesome. Man, I can't say it even better myself. That's a mouthful.
Yeah, because I like to study. I I like to study different things because I feel like everything is interchangeable in a way when we're talking about ourselves, when we talk about the creator, when we talk about the cosmic, the universe, metaphysics, astrology, like all of these things are coinciding with the blockchain, the human anatomy of the body, right? We have atoms, we have cells, we have matter, we have mass. And when you think about how the blockchain is structured, you have to then go back to the human anatomy. That's where everything is coming from. Self. Everything is a reflection of the first technology created, which is ourselves.
Man.
That's it.
That's it right there.
That is the gem for the show for sure. That is the gem for the show for sure, y'all. Man, oh man, oh man.
I appreciate that, y'all.
Oh no, for sure. No, we appreciate you because like it's sometimes you can beat a dead horse on your own, but sometimes always good having a nice refresher to have somebody come back around. They like, wait a minute, that's the same horse y'all was just beat, and they beat. Wait a
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. Did it yet? So we greatly appreciate you. We definitely
appreciate y'all too.
Explaining this is magnificent. So thank you.
Absolutely. Ask me something else.
Oh, no, the questions is coming. The question is coming for sure. HD, what we got, bro?
I got you. How do you see the relationship between blockchain, AI, and music evolving in the coming years?
So we know it. We know what Drake just did, right? When he went with the beef with him and Kendrick Lamar, and he made a artificial intelligence song utilizing Tupac Shakur, right? We see how that ended up. I feel like it's going to be everything has cons and pros to it. So when we talk about blockchain, we're talking about artificial intelligence, and we're talking about music, we have to be very careful because I make music when I get downloads. Some people, everybody makes their art a different kind of way. I'm a different type of artist. I'm not like selling myself like, hey, I'm over here. I'm an artist. This is what I do. Right? No, I usually sit, I meditate, I have downloads. I'll write it out. I'm a very good writer. I love to write. So that's something that I was always good at in school. So I like to write things out. And then, when we're talking about artificial intelligence and your God body being sold or utilized in a way that you're not consenting upon, right? It's going to get a little tricky because you can use it in a good way. So say if it's a commercial and I need a jingle to my commercial. Okay. I'm selling chicken pot pie, whatever I'm selling. And I'm like, you know what? Forget, paying somebody to make my little jingle. Let me go ahead and artificial intelligence, put a little thing, give me a little song. All right, cool. We got our commercial jingle. That's a way you can use it, in my perspective. You can use artificial intelligence that way when it comes to music, right? And then you can, if you wanted to convert that on the blockchain, and it could be your first unique identifier to your company business to say, hey, this is the first song that's sold for the jingle. Blah, blah, blah. Just like the tweet that got sold. That was the first tweet ever. Same thing. But if you take somebody's voice and then put it into a record and it wasn't consensual, then we have a problem.
Huge problem.
Now what do we do? Because now you got my voice. My voice is on the internet. Anybody can pull that frequency, right? If you know how to manipulate that frequency and put it into now artificial intelligence that knows how to write a whole song and give you something good, how I'm gonna feel about that? So now you attacking again. That's your intellectual property. That's your God body. That's your creation. So I don't know how I feel about that, but I feel like it's going to go in a positive direction and it's going to go in a negative direction, because even when you get into acting and the actors, they're going to be utilizing, their cloned artificial God body. Say if an actor is getting paid and they say, okay, we want to pay you $1 million to do this movie, right? And the actor say, no, I need 200 million. Oh no, we're not gonna pay you nothing because we have a part of you that we can utilize in this movie, and we don't have to pay them shit. So what you gonna do now? You get what I'm saying? So unless your structure is properly set up, again, just going back to trust, right? And your ministry, then how are you going to combat it if you just the average regular Joe that don't have this type of information?
Mm.
You know what I mean? So it's good and it's bad, just like with robotics. It's good and it's bad.
Sure.
It's good and it's bad.
It's interesting that you brought that up in terms of people like making sure they're secured and having that, because I know I've brought this up on the show before, but like there's a whole Netflix show about what they're literally doing with AI on deepfakes, y'all. Like y'all have to really understand this technology is very, very dangerous. It's great for those who are utilizing it for the right resources and the right purposes, but in terms of you being concerned about, oh well, I'm scared they're going to use my face for something that anything, advertise, whatever the case may be. Well, you know, folks, we're putting our faces on Facebook, we're putting our faces in places, and that's why a lot of people are seeing people starting to use AI generated pictures as their profile picture rather than, oh, well, I'm going to use my actual face, and that's just simply because they don't want their I would say their intellectual property, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's just, it's you, it's your essence.
You.
Right. They don't want to have themselves used anymore. So with those deep fake technologies, I'm glad you brought that up. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we got to be careful about the stuff that we're using because they're going to take advantage of it.
Even your children. They so young, they on TikTok now, just doing whatever on TikTok, not knowing somebody is watching that page. It could be anybody in the global world watching those children, taking those children's pictures and doing whatever they want to do with it. You know what I'm saying? They have the what do they call them, like NPCs or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Those type of, you can do so many different things. I think they said a principal, they recorded a principal's conversation. It was said that the principal said, I don't like these black kids. And that's something along those lines. What ended up happening was dude actually converted his voice into artificial intelligence, right? And had him saying that thing. And that man got fired from his job behind that. So these are some of the things that could be detrimental to not only us, the kids, but the entire world. Because we're talking about, again, a global shift happening. So we're going into humanoidism, and stuff of this nature. So they can put your intellectual property inside of a robot and do whatever they want. We're talking artificial intelligence. We're talking about robotics, and then you having your soul stolen out of your vessel into another vessel that's not human.
Right.
You get what I mean?
Right. 100%.
So you gotta be careful.
It's gonna be till folks is getting framed for crimes they didn't commit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They can put your face anywhere and say you did that.
No, well, you're clearly right here, and it's just like, yeah, you weren't
exactly. Exactly.
You don't know what you're looking for and what they're talking about and how to be able to have an eye for that stuff. You're not gonna catch on to it. So.
Exactly. So I don't want to ask y'all any questions because y'all are the interviewers.
Oh no, that's the thing. That's a part of the show. I mean, you might be jumping to it a little early, but I mean,
I'm sorry.
You're good. That's part of the show. Feel free to ask us anything that you like.
JoJo, bring me my computer charger for me, please, because it's going dead. Yeah, and I'm gonna make sure it don't go dead while I'm sitting right here. So when we are talking about like our God bodies, right, and our intellectual properties, and you guys asked me how do I feel about it being protected onto the blockchain, you know, I think there's some things that can be done as far as utilizing the blockchain to even secure your identification. You get what I'm saying? You can put your fingerprints on there if you so choose to. Yeah, put it in now for me. Thank you, baby. Let me see that. You can put your fingerprints on there. You can put birth records on there. You can put different documentations on there, but you can also mint your actual self. Right? Utilizing the same technology that can be used against you. You can do the same thing. That's just another way. But how do you guys feel about that?
I mean, so you hit the nail on the head. It's more of a situation where we tackled this earlier. This space is so fresh and so brand new that we're all pioneers in this. So if that's and I mean, ladies and gentlemen that are going to be watching this, don't get it twisted. They're already going to be getting ready to start putting medical records on there.
Absolutely.
I was about to say, if anybody hasn't heard of XRPH, there's healthcare systems in place on the blockchain, ladies and gentlemen. gentlemen. So understand that these are things that are already in place. You just have the freedom to be able to beat a lot of these people to the punch. So ideally, whatever it is that you ideally feel free and comfortable with in terms of, I don't want them to take advantage of this, beat them to the punch. And once you have that ownership on the blockchain, and once you have that protection with trust, I don't want to necessarily always say you're guaranteed, because listen, ladies and gentlemen, if these people want to find a way, they're going to find a way, but you want to protect yourself as best as possible. And that's the most important thing. So, I think I support anybody who wants to take advantage of any part of this blockchain process, as long as they're using it appropriately, and they're not trying to, be malicious or foul or have any malintent or anything. But outside of that, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. You think you want to put your birth certificates and get your grandparents' birth certificates and have your whole lineage on the blockchain, put it underneath the family, have at it. Because when they start coming into question of who has ownership of these things, and there's already a minted copy of this birth certificate on the blockchain, and then they go to put another minted copy, it's going to be like, actually, this one was minted first. So who has the actual minted? Exactly. Who actually has the documentation in the record? So yeah,
timestamp. That's the benefit of it being a public record. So when we go into our state's county of records and stuff like that, JoJo, it's not plugged in, baby. I'm sorry, y'all. When we go into our county public, record system, they give us a hard time. JoJo, come here, sweetie. They give us a hard time. I've been there. I've tried different things depending on your state. They will give you a hard time to put certain records on, on the public record. I need you to give me that orange cord right there, because it's not plugged in, and I don't want this to die. Give me that orange plug right there, Faye.
Actually, I'm going to say public record. In addition to that, HD, you're probably going to say this, but making sure you got those blockchain domains in place. That is another basically putting yourself in position to say, hey, okay, cool, I have this domain, I can connect these things to this domain, and it's specifically putting this domain, and that domain is secured by that actual structure for whether it's you, your family, whatever the structure that is that's set up. But
if you go to Unstoppable right now for artists, they got a thing called AJAM, and basically it gives you a private IPFS, and you can mint it to a unstoppable domain.
Fire. So we have so many different things that we can be utilizing to protect ourselves before big institutions come over here. And I don't want to say it's going to get centralized. I feel like they can build upon a network, right? Because everything has already been created for us. But they will be coming over here. They will be transferring titles, deeds, real estate, all different types of things. Maybe want your name too, your lineage. Did we see what happened without the blockchain and what happens, to us on an everyday basis? So why not get ahead of these people and get ahead of the curve and do it yourself? I have all my children. I only got 2 kids, but I have both of my kids' names. I've already protected those names. I've already protected certain documents for my kids. I've already protected certain trust documents for my kids, and it's available for us. So please utilize it at your leisure. Please.
Yep. And I hate being an advocate for this type of stuff, but go secure some of the names that's on the blockchains, because these big institutions gonna come sniffing and knocking for theirs. And
yes, they are.
What it works is, there's always a price to get something bought or sold from another private wallet, but it's just all about what you're going to accept for that offer. So keep those things in mind as well, and don't use that against your cousin that you can't stand. It's like, oh, I'm about to go buy a block. You have to come get it from
my cousin Jimmy.
Right. So yeah, not your cousin, but some of these bigger institutions, like, I'm just being real, that's business.
Yeah, of course.
Not even your name, even your address, even your home address.
Yes.
It's another thing.
You can mint your address. You can mint somebody else's address. You know what I'm saying? And they have different applications where you can do that, but you can actually just do that yourself as well if you know how to do it. You know what I mean? And going back to even the domain names of buying big corporations and big retailers and things of this nature. I was watching an interview with Lil' Kim, and she was talking about, oh yeah, when when the internet first came about, somebody bought my name, and it was one of her. I think it was Lisa Left Eye that had purchased her name for her. But just imagine if somebody else was to have purchased Little Kim's name, she would have had to pay for that. She would have had to pay for that. And I think because that was like a recent interview, I'm like, well, do you not know that's happening again? No. Somebody already got your name. Somebody already got your name, and it's not Lisa Left Eye. Rest in peace. Rest in power to that amazing woman. But baby, they already got you over here. They got big corporations, JP Morgan's, Bank of America, you know, PNC Bank. They had everybody got already. Sure. It was too early, and everybody was doing hella minting on these names. So people was already ahead of the curve getting all these names. I got a couple of names too, and I need a pretty penny for them.
For sure. That's how I gotta go. So real quick, before we jump into, I know we're probably gonna get about a question or two in before we get ready to wrap this thing up with the top 10. Miss Ruby, if you want to go ahead and lead us in with our commercial, we'll go ahead and take a quick break real fast, y'all. Baby, dude. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. And that commercial break was brought to you by the P2G Networks. HD, I know you got one final question, and I'm pretty sure I know exactly which one it is. So I'll throw this one out just real quick, if you don't mind answering. What was your favorite NFT that you bought, and what was your favorite NFT that you sold?
Well, I'm gonna start with sold because I'm a creator of NFTs. So the favorite one that I sold was the first ever one that I ever minted on chain, which was called it was called Money Moves, and I believe Chicago purchased it and Naughty purchased it. So I had only created 2 of those, and the fact that those 2 were the ones who purchased it just made it my favorite NFT. So my favorite NFT purchase, of course, was Chicago Crypto Bullies Bootcamp. On that's how I got started in even learning or being able to articulate and explain certain things that I'm able to explain to you guys even on here. So that was one of my favorite purchases of all time on the blockchain. Shout out to him.
Most definitely. HD, man, what you got for the final question?
All right, so final question, and really I got 2 final questions. What is your favorite metaverse? And then I'll ask a question after that.
My favorite metaverse. I don't think I even really have a favorite metaverse. I'm gonna just say the one that I got. I don't even want to say that. Okay, let me say. I have land. I have a building being built right now in Crypto Voxels, which is connected to my nonprofit organization. So I would say that only because that's where I'm going to be showcasing for my students to come. It'll be a library on top. It'll be the school inside of it. And then it'll be a free education on the outside with my YouTube videos and stuff like that. So right now I'm gonna just have to say Crypto Voxels because I'm able to utilize it, on different levels for my business. What was the second question?
All right. Well, you kind of answered the first one, but do you have a question for us? That's usually our last question of the evening.
How did you guys get started doing rap and crypto? Yeah, I want to know.
So you want me to kick off?
Go ahead.
Man, oh man. So 2019, my daughter was on the way, and I'm trying to figure out different things to get into. So I started dealing with stocks, trying to look at different investments. And of course, okay, I was enjoying it. And then my brother down here told us, hey, you need to definitely be checking out cryptocurrency. So We actually got into crypto via an organization which will keep nameless, but it was one of those projects where, all the beautiful people in blockchain always say you haven't really got your feet wet in blockchain till you've dealt with a couple of rug pulls and scam projects. So,
of course.
that was my first experience with cryptocurrency, was that organization. And of course, just being able to grasp education and knowledge off of that, we expanded into getting into all the different cryptocurrencies and truly understanding what blockchain technology had to offer. In that process, my brother came to me and said, "Hey, I know we're really fresh into this and new, but we're so excited about it. And we're picking up so fast on it. We're already teaching people and talking to people and trying to get people into it. Yo, we need to have a show and tell people genuinely about what's going on with this, and just specifically speaking, how we can help artists who are basically creating music stop having to sign these 360 deals." And I'm like, all right, you know what? I think this is going to be a really good cause. So he approached me. I went with the flow, and 4 years later, we still standing. But in this whole process, it's been a beautiful thing. Just having the interviews that we've had, the people that we've had come on the show, we've been able to network and just being able to have conversations with so many different people. And of course, like I go back to that beating the dead horse thing. It's one of those situations where in a lot of different areas and professions, if you hear the same thing over and over again, it just
Right.
one of those, I don't want to hear it no more. Every time I hear reaffirmations and different things in blockchain, it just gets you, it reignites the fire and gets you fueled up again. So most definitely. HD.
So how y'all got started was basically 2009. I was in my dorm room, read the article, is Bitcoin the new next new money? And I was like, I don't want to send my money through Western Union, so I skipped that phase. So got into 2016, was at work, saw on the news article Bitcoin hit 20K, nearly slapped myself. But then after that, 2018, got into, like you said, this company, and I met my producer, Ruby Thomas, and basically I was like, you know what, and I brought my brother LJ on, and I also got my brother shout out Mario Ponju Nation, and he usually come back, but so we all came together, and basically I thought of the concept Rapid Crypto because I was like, I love Nipsey Hussle. I've been a Nipsey Hussle fan since 2008 when he had the Hard Knocks TV interview saying that he won't buy big jury, he's gonna buy asset, buy land and property and stuff. So I was like, you know what? And start kicking the plays, and I started Nipsey and being on the blockchain and stuff. So that's when I started gravitating more to it.
Okay. Thank you guys for sharing that. And shout out to Nipsey. Okay.
We might have to bring the old intro back, with this little cutscene. The show. So, that was definitely huge, and I'll piggyback off of that. That was definitely a huge motivation for us. And it was actually funny. I had heard Nipsey Hussle's music and everything, but genuinely just hearing and looking at some of his interviews and like him talking about blockchain and things, it wasn't until after he passed away that, Brother HD was like, hey, check out some of these videos. And I was like, I definitely love the concept, and I see why you have so much passion behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, for those of y'all who are willing to go back and check out some of our first videos, the intro, it hits home because it genuinely was a huge fuel to the fire for us, especially after his passing.
Yeah, I remember that like it was yesterday.
Yeah. My wife was like, "Why are you crying so hard?" I was like, "Nipsey died."
I remember that like it was yesterday. I was driving, me and my friend, and she called me, and we was on the freeway. She was like, "Oh my God, Nipsey died," because I knew I was a dancer, so I knew mutual people who had ties to him, so they called me and they were sad, and so it was just a big deal down here in California. So yeah, rest in peace to the God.
I'm originally from Georgia, and I was like, man, even though I'm from Georgia, I was always listening to Cali music.
Yeah. I'm from Athens, by the way, not from California. Athens, Georgia. Shout out to home of the Bulldogs.
I see you.
Yeah. I appreciate this time, you guys.
Sure. We appreciate you. We gotta do a part 2 because we didn't get to a whole lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get a part 2 with you. Maybe
okay.
I was about to say before we get off of here, man, we gotta wrap this thing up the right way, man. You already know what time it is. Got to get the top 10 in, bro.
I got to. This evening is brought to you. The top 10 is brought to you by the P2G Networks. We are not financial advisors. We just go over stuff that we love to research and share to you guys. All right, bro, LJ, back to you, bro.
All right, cool. So kicking it off, and Sister Gemini, if you'd like to jump in, you're more than welcome. What we basically typically do is go down a list of 10 different cryptocurrencies that people can basically take the liberty of checking out, and it basically works as our top 10 for the show. So starting off at number 10 for me this week, I'm going to do Tron. HD, number 9, what we got, bro?
I'm going to go Raven.
Okay, bet. Number 8, Sister Gemini, you want to jump in?
I'm going with Reddick. What did you say?
Raven.
Oh, I'm going to say Reddick.
Okay. Reddit corn. Perfect. Man, number 7. I'm gonna throw osmosis in there. Coming in number 7, I'm gonna throw osmosis in there. Number 6, what we got, HD?
Number 6, I'm gonna go Chain Link, bro.
Okay.
That's
Chain Link. Okay, bet.
I got you.
Number 5, Sister Gemini, what we got?
I'm gonna go with Stacks.
Okay.
Them Satoshis, I hear you.
4. Hey man, big shouts out to Collar Coin, man. Big shouts out to Collar Coin. A lot of people haven't been paying attention to what's been going on, but I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, big shouts out to Collar Coin. That tied number 4 at this week with XRP as well. So make sure y'all check that Collar Coin. But number 4, I'm gonna tie that with XRP.
Man, so number 3 for me, I'm gonna go, since I'm a metaverse guy, I'm gonna go OVR.
Okay. All right, bet. Sister Gemini, number 2, what we got?
I'm gonna give it a little deep in, and I'm gonna go with Fetch.
Okay, bet.
Okay.
Well, coming in at number 1, since we're talking about artistry and music this week, I'm gonna throw Audience in there at number 1.
There we go.
Throw Audience in there at number 1 for sure. Big shouts out. And Sister Gemini, I know we got a few minutes left on the show and everything. If you would like to kind of lead in to talk to how the people can basically get in contact with you and check you out and everything, if you want to lead in with your audience link, tell them a little bit about that, and then go into some of the other ways that they can get in contact with you and support you.
Of course. So if you guys want to hear my music, if you want to check it out, I do have an audience page. It is Artist Gemini on there. You can find me on there as far as all my music goes. I have sold individual NFTs, but of course they're all sold out. But I will be coming back on the ordinal with an ordinals real soon. But as far as Twitter, it is DA Artist Gemini on there. So the Artist Gemini on Twitter. If you ever want to check out or tweet me and see what I be talking about on Twitter. Sometimes I be talking shit. And and on Instagram, you can catch me at The Real Artist Gemini. It's kind of my personalized page. I share some information on my stories and on my page. So again, The Real Artist Gemini, THE Real Artist Gemini. That's how you can contact me on there. Yeah, and I have a link to all of my NFTs, the books that I'm selling. I do have a book called the Crypto Blueprint Strategy Investment. So please check that out. It's on Amazon and it is located on OmniFlix. Okay, so shout out to me.
Oh yeah, so well, HD, what else we got for the people, man?
Man, just stay tuned, man. Let's keep getting growing, man. On Rapping Crypto every week at Wednesday at 9 p.m. Like I said, I'm your main man, HUTCH my brother BlackWolf.blockchain, and our lovely special guest, the Real Artist Gemini. She'll be back on for a part 2. We'll pay attention. Y'all tune in. That's all we got.
Peace.